Placerville, California is a small, quiet town with plenty to do. It's located in El Dorado County, just 40 miles from Sacramento. Cute boutiques, nice restaurants, wine tastings, coffee shops, apple orchards, hiking, and of course, lots of history. John Sutter was one of the men who founded Northern California and built his fort on what is now Sacramento in 1840. He planned to continue developing along the American River and sent James Marshall to source timber for Sutter's new town. Marshall and his workmen built a sawmill in Coloma, just 10 miles from Placerville. On January 4, 1848, while Marshall was inspecting his mill, he discovered gold in the water. Word got out to people from Mexico, other parts of America, Europe, Australia, Asia, and even further around the world. With hopes of getting rich quick, they left their families and homes to come to California. Mining towns were located along rivers because the currents eroded gold out of the rocks, but as quickly as they were built, they were all deserted. Like other mining towns in the Old West, it quickly took on a hell-raising reputation. Murderers, fugitives, thieves, and other criminals fled into town with the intent of stealing miners' gold. By 1848, it became a serious issue in the mines. Back in this time, there were no laws, police, jails, courts, or prisons. Placerville was originally called Old Dry Diggins because the miners would cart their dry soil to the running water to wash out the gold. But in 1854, the name was changed to Hangtown, which is still prevalent to the town today. During this time, homes, streets, and workplaces weren't safe. People were killed and robbed at night if it was thought that they had gold on them. The 5 men involved in these crimes were sentenced to death by hanging. A large oak tree in Elster's hay yard on the main street was chosen for the hanging. By 1853, the oak tree was cut down and built over. The building, on 305 Main Street, was turned into a saloon with the stump still in the basement. The legend of the hanging lives on in a street sign that reads Hangman's Tree Historic Spot, with a dummy named George hanging at the end of a noose. In 1854, Hangtown was the 3rd largest city in California after San Francisco and Sacramento. In the same year, the name was changed to Placerville due to the placer gold found in the area. Millions of dollars of placer gold was found from ravines and hills. Notable people who passed through town include John Studebaker, Levi Strauss, and Mark Twain. But by 1873, after the majority of the gold had run out, people moved out of Placerville to find other mining communities. Today, Placerville's population is only 10,000. Nowadays, Placerville is a touristy spot with gold rush-related attractions such as the Gold Bug Park and Mine and many historic buildings to explore. However, after the torrential rains in California early in 2023, locals expected a second gold rush. The heavy rainfalls created powerful currents that eroded riverbanks and loosened particles of mud and gold that got carried downstream. Placerville's hardware store, the oldest hardware store west of the Mississippi and has been continuously operated since 1852, switched out their dynamite to metal detectors for the predicted gold rush. Albert Fossil, the 3rd-generation owner of Placerville Hardware and who has been searching the rivers of Placerville for decades, even found small amounts of gold and expects to find bigger, larger, and heavier pieces closer to the middle of the river. Mark Dayton, gold hunter and metal detector expert and regular member of the Gold Country Treasure Seekers Club in Placerville, revealed he gathered $1,025 worth of gold in just a few hours' time. During one of his meetings, Dayton said there was $50,000 worth of gold on the table, which is more gold in the last 2 meetings than in the last 2 years. Placerville is a beautiful town with amazing shops and great restaurants, and if you're feeling up for the adventure, a great spot to search for gold.